Hey everybody, welcome to episode 153 of the Bonehead podcast, where we talk all things Blood Bowl. And jingle, welcome back. I'm Ben, and once again I'm joined by Christmas Ben. How you doing, BT?
Hello, very good. I'm very festive today.
Ben's got his...
It's approaching December. Oh, it's in December.
It's approaching December.
It feels like it is. Okay.
It is the...
Christmas is like 2 weeks away, and it doesn't feel like that.
Yeah, it's madness. And we are not joined by Trips today because he's playing with scaffolding, which can only go well. But we do have Milton just before he isn't around currently for podcasts. How are you, Milt? All right?
Yeah, I'm doing good, thanks.
I mean, like, I love that there was a small part where you weren't going to be available due to a volcano. Like, I love that that's a genuine reason. Of all the stuff we say about you on this podcast, the fact that a volcano genuinely messed up your plans is awesome.
Yeah.
Spy Kids.
I won't need a Christmas jumper where I'm going.
Like, don't need eyes where we're going.
Pure magma.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Milton's taken the Chaos Dwarf release really to heart.
Gotta live it.
Yeah, madness. So, BT, what are we going to be talking about today?
We're going to be talking through the Bonehead Award nominees. This is a thing we do every year. Have we done it every year?
We skipped last year because
okay.
it was the Libby situation. I had no time to get anything together, which was the right choice looking back.
Yeah, it's our bonies, and we like to just talk about everything that came out in the year and put forward what we think was like the highlight releases of different things, different categories. So we'll get into that.
Yep, absolutely. Now, we would normally look at some Blood Bowl news as well, but I sort of had a look around and checked out Kickstarter. There isn't much. Like, obviously, we've been delaying the podcast a little bit because we're like, right, well, actually, we probably delayed the podcast maybe 2-3 weeks because we've been waiting for the FAQ to drop. Because we were like, right, let's not rush a pod out, because then as soon as we do a pod, the FAQ will drop. The November FAQ will drop. As Ben said, it's nearly Christmas now, and Christmas is in what month, Milton?
This one?
Yeah, not November. Yeah, absolutely. So we still don't have the FAQ. Guys, just off the top of your heads, is there anything like you think is properly pending with the FAQ that needs a jolly good fixing?
What was the obvious one? Skitter?
Skitter is the obvious one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nothing massively stands out. We've not had. Is there anything in any of the teams that came out's rules?
Yeah, undoubtedly there's some Chaos Dwarf bits, like their magic armor. Does it work against fouls? That kind of stuff. Just like some clarifications, which is what the FAQs tend to be. And I really like their timeline for it, because they do the May and the FAQ. And normally it means you got like 2 months of people playing with the teams to ask those questions, which I think gives Games Workshop a good amount of time to be like, yeah, these are the most frequently asked questions about how this this rule works. So with the way they're doing releases and the FAQ dropping, it's a pretty decent cadence normally. It's just a bit peculiar that this one's not dropped at all, because it's not like there's been some stuff going on at Games Workshop, and I do want to have a look, because it's always fun to look at new releases for other games. But yeah, still waiting on the FAQ, but otherwise, like, I couldn't see much kicking around from third parties, with the exception of the usual STL bunch. I mean, I may have missed something.
No, it's weird, isn't it? I mean, we've had. We didn't. Did we have Dungeon Bowl last year? Was it the second, or was that the year before?
Do you know what? I think last year we were expecting a second Death Arena thing, like a second expansion, and we didn't get it.
Oh, yeah. Because we had
Deathmatch,
and yeah, normally there's like an announcement about the almanac.
Hey, but at least we've got 2 teams this year, so
Yeah. I mean, yeah. What we got is just it's unusual that we haven't had anything, particularly to the Christmas build-up, because you'd have thought from a marketing perspective that would be like excellent, Christmas
Yeah,
presents and stuff.
what have they pushed this year? I haven't really seen. Did they have Battle Forces this year?
Yeah, right. 2 secs. Let's
Warhammer?
switch over to the other screen. We're going straight into it today. So yeah, I mean, they did the Battle Force stuff, but I don't know about you. Like, it feels like Christmas has snuck up on the world this year, or at least the Games Workshop. Hey, your little dwarf friend's back, Milton. Don't know if you can see on your display.
Oh yeah.
I guess the big release at the moment is the new Lord of the Rings, the new Middle Earth.
Yeah.
Which is
the animation, right?
Yeah, well, when's the film coming out? It's coming out now,
this month.
soon.
Like this week or next week, I think.
Either of you interested in checking that out?
Yeah, I saw the.
I'll check that out. It's
when
they get
we
the
went,
game already.
But when we went and watched Moana 2, it was shown in the trailers, and it threw me entirely because the first like maybe 3 minutes of it are just cuts from the original Lord of the Rings trilogy. I was like, oh, are they bringing this back to cinema? I was quite excited for that. And then they cut to the animation, but I'm guessing that's because like they were trying to make the link for people that maybe wouldn't really understand or appreciate it. So it looks quite good. Like, yeah, the animation, the voice acting, everything looks really good.
I've got to say, like, with the models they're releasing for it, they've done a very good job. Like, these are some of like the best Games Workshop sculpts. They are stylized, right? They are a bit cartoony because they're based on an animation, not cartoon. And I think they've done a really good job of like actually just taking that look and that vibe and making it into models. It's like.
Do you think our good friend Windsor Chogs work?
Do you know? I wonder. I do wonder because stylistically the exaggeration there is it does remind you of the old Chog sculpts. Look at the face detail on this guy.
Yeah, and the hands and the kind of the poses. I don't know. It's giving me
like these
Chog vibes. Yeah.
I hadn't seen any of this. I didn't even know this existed.
I mean, these are some of the best paint jobs they've done Games Workshop wise.
Yeah, these are really nice.
Like they are.
They're basing. I know we've mentioned it before. But they're basing. Like a real
basing on point. I love the Blood Bowl basing at the moment. Yeah, so these are new Dunlanding lads, and I think they're a bit more cartoony. And the trolls they're doing, I assume they're going to feature in the movie. These are fantastic.
The hill trolls.
Yeah,
so good.
I'm super impressed with this. I'm super impressed with the way they've pulled this project together.
Oh well. Go back to those eagles. Like, I want to look at those a little bit closer. Yeah. It's a like really static pose. They just remind me of the old like wood elf high elf
I thought
fantasy
I thought they were. I thought they were.
Like that flat like wingspan. Yeah.
Is it like the griffin, like the high elf griffin thing?
That was quality. Yeah. So I'm quite like I like to see it. I'm not. Nothing about it has made me go like, boom, I'm going to invest and get involved in it. Which is fine, but I mean, there's still some cool stuff going on. Like, it is good to see. So at least the Specialist Games team, I assume, I don't know if that's Specialist Games actually, to be fair, but they've done some cool stuff. So we had the previews. There was nothing for Blood Bowl. I guess the big Christmas thing is the Middle Earth stuff. And then, yeah, Ben, they did some battle boxes a little while ago. Every Saturday, like, I check on Entoyment. I'm like, what's coming out? Like, what's exciting about this one? The only other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was the Wolf Rider army for Age of Sigmar. Did you?
Mob.
I refuse to call them Git Mob. That's just. I'm not sold. Like, I love the idea of them, but they look a little bit like edgy Disney characters. It's like Age of Sigmar, for all its has really started to look like it's come out of a Saturday morning cartoon. Like
it's more of the Warcrafty style, which is where I think they wanted to take Age of Sigmar in the first place, based on all the kind of art and graphic design they did for it. I mean, I have like a special place in my heart for the OG like Goblin Wolf Riders from. So these look very different. I also think the paint job they've done makes it look that way. I think, if you painted them completely differently, you wouldn't feel that way about them.
What is painting?
The Age of Sigmar has really embraced this like really detailed like characterful centerpiece. Like they really go all out in sculpting. I think, particularly in Age of Sigmar. I think some of the best models that exist are in Age of Sigmar. But like I know what you mean, where it's like these guys they've lost a bit of the charm, like the goofy charm of the old sort of Spider Riders and Wolf Riders. Those kind of like that kind of like Forest Goblin style stuff.
Yeah,
I think they look really cool.
They're cool. They're not goofy, and I think that's probably what it is.
Yeah,
I think it is a case of like they're just like, this is such a cool
really
idea,
menacing.
but they look more like the mud goblins than they look like the old sort of goblins.
I think that's okay though.
Yeah.
Like, especially with them having brought back the old world, I'm definitely massively in favor of them.
This is quite cool.
The style and like Age of Sigmar really like having its own thing. And I agree with Ben entirely. Like, a load of my favorite minis are Age of Sigmar minis. The sculpts and the designs and stuff are just wicked, and they've got so much scope for it as well. I think that's maybe one of the things with 40k, because I know that obviously they did the Primaris and everything, but the kind of the lore and the style and the design and everything is fairly like well entrenched in people's idea, and they do bring out some really cool new models with it. But with Age of Sigmar, they've got like a pretty clean like sheet to just do anything with, haven't they? So
to be fair, yeah. I mean, what you see from Games Workshop is like their real creativity comes from the, I think we've called it before, like you've got some things that are like a really deep slice, like with Eisenhorn and stuff, but then you see it with Necromunda, you see it with Kill Team stuff, and you see it definitely with the warbands for Shady Town and Warcry and stuff, where they're just like, let's explore this one facet of really deep. Now, I think this is just begging for like a chariot racing game, which would be very, very, very cool. All right, I think I've convinced myself to buy a Goblin Chariot. The Doom Diver is interesting because like, this just looks straight out of your ogre army, Ben.
It does look very ogre. I was gonna say, like, what I like about these goblins is that they seem stylistically like they've got their own style that takes them away from like orcs. This one does lean more into ogres, but like they look like their own faction, which I really like about this. Like there's nothing that looks just like it's sort of like, it's ramshackle but purposeful. Like it doesn't look like it's pieced together. It looks actually like quite well built, but with like scrap metal. Is that kind of goblin aesthetic, which I think I quite like. Orcs is very much like, it's ramshackle. It's not put together well.
Now that is what goblins do, isn't it? Like you're right.
Yeah,
Goblins,
exactly.
Goblins are the orc builders.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Some of this stuff is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I actually like them quite a lot.
Not enough to play Age of Sigmar, but they do look like really, really, really good models.
Though. I keep hearing really, really good things about the skirmish one. What's it like?
Spearhead.
Spearhead, yeah. I keep hearing great things about that, and I really want to play it. It's going to be my goal over Christmas. I'm going to get a game of that.
And then, of course, you've got the old world wizards that dropped because Empire are coming.
These are amazing.
Yeah. The gnome wizard.
Yeah, that little familiar is the best.
Oh, do you know what? I thought it was just a pile of books. I didn't see the gnome. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's the best.
If there is a gnome wizard, that guy should be Shadow. Should be the Law of Shadows. We know this now because everyone went and did a deep dive into gnomes when they were released in Blood Bowl. So everyone went back to like 3rd edition Warhammer and Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. You've got a little frog familiar. I like whoa,
cool.
Whoa, big fan of familiars. So I like that they've got that. You've got the little death guy. I mean, this is another thing where I think this is what we want from Games Workshop. Like, just start making more. Start making more. Start going deeper and producing like edge cases. Like when the Snake Dude came out, when the Zote came out for Blood Bowl, everyone was like, "Oh, a Snake Man team. Oh, a Zote team. Like, let's expand the." That's what people want, I think, and I think that's what they did so well when Votan came out. Even though, Ben, I mean, in the world of 40k, like they came with like what, 4 units, which is not.
Yeah, but it grew. I think it's a pretty good army.
Yeah, but they did the same thing with the big orcs milt for Age of Sigmar, didn't they? They were like, boom, here's 4 units, and you've expanded the world into this little faction. And those people that want to have a bit of it to add to their normal stuff, they can do that. And those that want to go into a big force can absolutely do that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. Even things like the Fen Beast, you know, way back when. That kind of stuff, yeah, definitely.
Well, you just
come back around.
build a little bit of the world. That's what people want. Like when the Amble came out for Blackstone Fortress, that was very sweet as well.
Yeah, the Ambot as well.
The Ambot was. Or I've got the box of that somewhere. I never built it. I've just got like this little hidden pile of Necromunda boxes that are all sealed.
I remember, and yeah, recently, the old Dogs of War units for Warhammer Fantasy Battles was one of the most appealing things to me for the game, where you could kind of like bring in another faction, just a single unit. You know, it's not like masses or whatever, but a flavor of the old world that wasn't necessarily something to do with your own faction. It gave you something else to like be creative with.
It's funny because Old World does that, where they've got like the allies rules, where you can take, like, I don't know, was it 20% of your army or something like that. And OPR does that really well too. So you can, you know, build your force and just add another force to get the bits of flavor in there that you want. And I think that's what people want. They want, like, it's why, like, Mill, when you play Magic, generally speaking, you don't, unless you are one of those people, you don't play mono blue or mono red, right? You play Abzan, you know, you play Golgari, you mix them up because you're like, right, I want to be a blue deck, but I need some black finishers or something just to like add that something else. And I think that's where Games Workshop shine. And I don't know, like Ben, you're saying like, I don't know if it may have been where you're talking like about like there's not a lot of design space in some of the big army things because everything has to be the gun that's manufactured 1,000,000 times because it's the most like regular thing. But like Ben, I think we've talked about this when it's like Age of Sigmar and 40k and you're like, oh, there's Rabooty G again, and it's like, oh yeah, no, another battle where Robert Gilliman's there. How many points is it? 1,500. Oh, okay, yeah, no, he would definitely be fighting that battle as well. Like,
yeah. With like 30 other guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Milton, you and I are from like the Warhammer times before, not before special characters, but like before special characters were like ubiquitous. I think you know, you may have had Tyrion's model, but more often than not would be run as your high elf general, general,
like a generic wizard or something.
Yeah.
And you had them, but you'd only ever run one or two, or like it'd be a big point battle in order to like bring them along.
Yeah. I always like to have them as like, I would rather play them with special rules where they're like completely crazy and you have like a big, like, you dedicate a day like that we're going to play this game where he is actually there. It's like 8,000 points or whatever. Like, and he's like insane. Like I remember when like Nagash came out for Age of Sigmar. Or he might have came. Did he come out for Old World?
No, he came out in the end times. So
yeah, end times. Sorry, yeah.
But it was literally that last like month. So
yeah, I remember that model, and like even because I got in the early Age of Sigmar, and that was like 900 points or whatever for Nagash, and he would just like insta kill stuff.
Yeah,
because Nagash.
Like, what are we playing today? Yeah, I mean, who'd do that with a zombie dragon?
Oh, this is well. I mean, at least it was your zombie dragon. Like at least you, you had brewed up that misery. It was your own unique style of mono blue. Did you guys see the Eldar stuff? This, I think, massively awesome. Like they're really well done. But I think to Milton's point, like they are literally like.
They look the same.
They're better versions, but they are exactly the same. This would be like them retooling the Orc team, having the exact same poses, but just having better undercuts.
I'm thinking of that like meme where it's like corporate would like to tell you the difference and just putting the 1980s one against one of these.
I bet they're taller. I bet they're taller.
Slightly, yeah.
Yeah, and I bet they're more expensive. And you got a Birdman, which was quite.
The Exarchs are really good.
The Exarchs are very cool.
Phoenix? No, Swooping Hawks.
Like these models on the left-hand side, they do look exactly like the Jez Goodwin 90s ones. Which
I mean, they're lovely, but they're obviously just exactly the same stylistically for that reason.
This lad,
the Warp Spider,
is very, very, very cool. Again,
new Exarch. He's so good. I love all of these, man. Like I think they're like mental expensive, but like I really do like them, and I've got a couple of like Eldari friends who are very excited for this.
Do you mean Craig because he's very tall?
No.
I know you're the same size as Milton. It's just
same size. It's weird phrasing, but Yeah, no, I really like them, and I'm looking forward to like actually seeing them because the models are so sick.
I can't wait to see thousands of them primed at Beachhead at the 40k tournament and stuff. Good time to mention our sponsor, Army Painter Primers. I wish. Because, yeah, at least prime them yellow. And the last one to mention was the Krieg stuff. Do you know, until this point, I didn't realise that the Krieg horses weren't horses.
What? Yeah, I was gonna say, what is that? That looks straight out of Age of Sigmar.
It looks exactly. Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, this looks like more Games Workshop bird horses. I'm not sure why Games Workshop are so obsessed with bird horses or horses that are not quite horses. But
no one else has them.
I mean, is there a reason for that? Like,
copyright? Yeah.
There are some horses, aren't there?
Not in Krieg. They were all these weird little footed things.
Oh, are they? I thought when they had that like Imperial Guard like lord on like a cyber horse, that was kind of a horse.
He may have been. That might be a horse.
Yeah.
Again, with the Krieg stuff, like it's very cool, but it's really difficult to like revamp a range and have it be exactly the same because like they've got an impossible task here, right? It's like we want to do Krieg in plastic. What are they going to look like? These models. It's like, what do you want different about them? They need to be in plastic. You're like,
I know they've done some work on it recently with the Kroot and the Vespid, but I kind of wish they'd taken a bit of a deeper dive into the sort of like Tau Empire and given us maybe some other like species.
I think they will. Like
Vespid.
Yeah.
I did the Games Workshop vote, and that was my choice of models for the year.
And like the Votan were kind of like that.
Yeah,
like, they came. I think they came from like the Demiurge stuff, which is like a Tau auxiliary. So.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, they are cool.
Yeah, neckbeard in their pyramid ships. Demiurge. No, that one's got chicken legs too.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
But still.
I like them.
Cool stuff. Cool models. The most important thing to mention though is that there's no Blood Bowl news. And like Milton, you were sort of saying before the pod, there's no Christmas build-up this year. Like I don't think there was last year, but my memory is gone. That period was just the beginning and end of a sleepless mess.
Was there nothing last year? I feel like there was a little something, but yeah, maybe you're right. There wasn't an almanac. We haven't had an almanac since 2022.
The year before we had Deathmatch. The year before that we had Dungeon Bowl, and that was peak. And I think the year before that, Ben, was when Ogres dropped.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. We had Deathmatch was the year before last, which was like the Wood Elf, Halfling, mixed team thing, which was cool.
What about when did the not sevens thing, the other one?
Gutter Bowl. Was Gutter Bowl this year or was it last year?
No, Gutter Bowl was last year. But was it this time of the year? I feel like it was earlier.
Gutter Bowl was summertime.
Yeah, summertime.
Definitely not this year.
No, you're right.
That was summer last year. Yeah.
It was a random mid-year drop, wasn't it?
Yeah, maybe we had nothing either last year. I don't know. Weird. Yeah, it's like it's from a marketing perspective. I just feel like it's weird, personally. Like you'd have thought for the whole Christmas thing, you know, if you've got a bunch of people interested in Blood Bowl, the best thing is to get them gifts.
Something. Something.
Yeah.
I mean, the question is, like, is it because they're brewing up for a new edition? Because like this is all you see everywhere online now is like, oh yeah, well actually it was this whole year was like, oh, there's a new edition coming this year because it's been 4 years. we're now in December.
Sense, right?
But it would make sense.
But I don't think it's
if they drop it in like January, that would I don't think that would be the peak spot.
That's a terrible decision.
Here's a brand new boxed game, but you're all poor.
Have they done a red gobbo this year?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they did. I saw.
Because what I think would be really cool is like normally it's like 40k or whatever theme. I was like, really nice to have a Blood Bowl one with like a Blood Bowl card and some like special rules or whatever around it. I'll ever get that.
Well, I think one of them has got Blood Bowl rules. I think the one they did last year had. Oh no! They just dropped this. They used the Black Gobbo's rules for him.
Oh, okay.
They just
I mean, like an actual like Blood Bowl themed variant of the mini for Christmas would be really cool.
That would be really good. Yeah.
Yeah, because like you can definitely make him Blood Bowl themed, 100%. There's no reason that couldn't happen.
There you go, Milt. That was the red gobbo.
Look at that. I mean, yeah, he's like a bomber already.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's a perfect bomber.
Yeah, that would have been really like a really cool like thing. I know. Obviously, Blood Bowl's a box game. It's maybe not one of their biggest sellers or whatever, but they do it every year, so it's not like there isn't, you know.
I know we talk about this every episode, but like Necromunda just gets absolutely slammed with releases, like constant releases. And I know it's difficult for Blood Bowl because like it's such a fixed setup. Like you can't really be like, I'm going to take a Skaven team, but I'm going to have these 2 extra people in it because of the way the game works. It would be probably a bit of a disaster. But yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, the Gobbo is like such a unique piece, though, isn't it? It's not like people are like buying them and like sticking them in their armies every tournament or anything. Whereas like
it's a niche one-off that you get.
Yeah, but for star players, it's literally a thing that people use on a regular basis while playing Blood Bowl. So it kind of feels like it's the perfect opportunity. If you're listening, Games Workshop,
please listen.
Blood Bowl Red Gobbo next year.
That would be very cool. That would be very, very, very cool. I'm just looking through the Games Workshop website to see if there's anything that was appropriate to us that we haven't got. So yeah, I mean, I think best case scenario now is if they do drop a game, like a new edition of it. I mean, when's the best slot now? Because you would think, like Milton, you said, like Christmas time would be the best for a big box thing. They haven't done a big box thing right now. I guess the Lord of the Rings slot is that Christmas box. But
it's a weird one, isn't it? Because I mean, we've seen this from our tournaments and stuff, and I think it's just, I mean, obviously it will vary depending on the country and the kind of setup. But here in particular, you know, we notice there's always a dip in kind of attendance and interest in the game during the summer months, which makes sense. You know, holidays, people are off, enjoying the weather, they're outside doing things. And so when they do the releases in sort of the spring and autumn period, kind of like really spot on. I think they'd have to utilize those slots if they're not going to go in for the pre-Christmas.
Is February too early, do you think?
Yeah.
So really you're looking at kind of like
April, May, I think.
It's funny, that's when the Games Workshop, that's when the Blood Bowl releases seem to drop, isn't it? Like April and October. Like they've been doing that, which again ties in nicely to the May and November theory for FAQ. So yeah, let's hope for something in spring. Hopefully it's a new team. A new big box game would be interesting, but we will see on that one. It's just that there's a lot of people are like, where is it? Surely it's here. And then of course with the FAQ didn't drop, that was like all the comments in the videos were like, oh, no FAQ. Is that because they're about to drop a new edition? And I'm like, that's not how Games Workshop works.
I know, it's fun to think about, right? Like, I don't know, I'm getting quite hyped.
I really want them to do it. It's not that I don't want them to do it. I just feel like it makes no sense without releasing the other 2 teams of Legend, unless those 2 teams of Legend are the box. Because why make the book and miss out just 2 more teams? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, if you're going to include the book in the season set, like, why make a whole new run of books? There's not a like conclusive package if you haven't got the other 2 teams. So if they are going to drop it, I'm hoping it's High Elves and Tomb Kings.
Let me introduce you to the reason why that would be.
Oh yeah.
Which I'm all for because I love the Spike magazines.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I love a good Spike magazine, but it kind of feels like, you know, we're 2016 was when it came out, so we're 8 years in, going to be 9 years in, and it's still not like you've had.
Yeah, but
2...
even even if the next 2 teams were just new teams, like
that's true.
You still like Chaos Dwarfs was the most recent one. Like that seems a legend. If you're going down the pattern of they kind of alternate, which you're still quite a way off.
Which I prefer. I think
I like it.
At least 2 years off, at least.
I think we talked about it a few pods ago, didn't we? Because we were kind of like, I don't want to say scared, but it is very much kind of like, what happens then? Like, is it complete or is it just when they feel like a brand new team? At least there's kind of like this expectation of, there's going to be more Blood Bowl because they have to redo High Elves and Tomb Kings. Like, they've got to keep going until they do those. And then it's like, if they do just drop those next year and then we're like, oh, Oh,
Guess what, guys? We've removed the passing stag.
I'll tell you what, we should probably spend a bit of time like actually reviewing this edition, because we're 4 years in.
Yeah,
and some of the peak changes, like overall, like, is the passing stat a good addition? Is wildly accurate a good addition? Spoiler on that one.
Not for Square.
Not for anybody. All right, wicked. So yeah, we've had some news. Not a lot going on, but what we'll do is we will bounce straight in to the Bonehead Award nominees. Okay, so like Ben said at the beginning of the episode, it is the Bonies 2024. We've had a look back this year. We've asked you guys to say, don't forget this, don't forget this, don't forget this. And we put together the top list, we think, of models and releases in the Blood Bowl world that we want you now to vote for. We want you to fill out the little Google form that's in the comments below, because we've got the nominees and we want you to actually do the deciding, so that we can say these Boney Awards were voted for by you, our community, because I think that's quite powerful, and it's quite fun. And in the new year, we will do a raffle. So if you put your name and email address in, we'll do a raffle on one of the next episodes once we've announced the winners, and we'll give some cool stuff away. So let's have a look through the nominees. I'm going to do this first one. The best team nominees for Games Workshop are the only 2 teams that came out from Games Workshop this year, which are the Gnome team and the Chorf team. I would love for this to have been 4 teams, but actually, do you know what? I think this is going to be a bit of a neck and neck one. I think I know definitely where my vote would be going, and this is for models only. Oh, we should have done like rules, shouldn't we? Well, that would have been a landslide.
Yeah.
So best teams, Games Workshop, you've got Gnomes and you've got Chaos Dwarves. And Milton, would you run us through the best teams for third party?
Right, for third party, we have the Wire Apes, the Brute Fun High Elves, Brute Fun Snotlings, Grebo Gnomes, Punga Chaos Ogres, and the Punga Undead Norse.
Now, there are a few very good honourable mentions that didn't quite make the cut on this one. It's probably every other release that Brute Fun has done this year, at the very, very, very least. Like the Orc team came out in December last year, the first bit did. And the Dark Elf team, yeah, it was a tough one to choose between these, because Dark Elves versus High Elves.
Union and Wood Elves.
The Wood Elf one is so good. The Elven Union one with the classic mohawks and stuff is so good. But we don't have a High Elf team kicking around, except for the Punga one that's already out. And actually, Brute Fun has worked very long and very hard, and I think has absolutely nailed the High Elf aesthetic. I've got a team sat there in a box ready to be based, primed, reviewed, and then ignored as it goes. Because
yeah, I don't mean to put in a voter influence and corruption here, but it's my vote. So
the High Elf team. Yeah.
Like, absolutely.
But the thing is,
so good.
The Snotling team is so good. You can see Trumpets right there. There he is. He's just chilling.
Yeah, he is great. But High Elves aren't they?
Yeah.
We have a split vote here then.
The Grebo team was very, very cool. Like, very detailed, quite expensive, but a really solid shout from quite a few people. Were like, do not forget this team. The 2 Punga ones. I mean, Milton, you've painted or been painting this team?
No.
No.
I've printed it. I've based it. But
have you primed it?
I've not primed it.
Oh, dude, come on.
But no, that Punga Undead team, that would get my vote. I mean, I love there's so much good stuff to choose from, but that really kind of, I don't know, there was something about it that just, yeah, I love. It inspires me.
Well, it's one of those cool teams that works for multiple. In fact, this is why I think the Snotling team is so good. It's the Brutish Snotling team also works as Gnomes, and this Norse team also works as Undead and the Necro expansion.
Necro and Norse, yeah. So
but
3 in 1.
The Chaos Ogre team, I think, is just peak nonsense. Again, like, that's like, we talked about Punga and the way their sculpts come out. They are probably the most paintable, like the easiest to paint of all the stuff that comes out, and those ogres they will basically paint themselves to the level of just like nothing else, which I love. Like, obviously, I mean, I've got a primed one somewhere, so obviously they don't entirely
like them.
paint themselves.
Yeah.
It's
I
cool.
don't need an ogre team. Okay, well that's my ogre team.
It's just so wicked that like you can have that corny. It is corn, isn't it? Like corn inspired ogre team, and like that's an availability. That's like a thing. You don't have to go and like make it out of like a bits yourself. You can just print one, and you've got that.
And
so cool.
And they did such a good job with the halflings too.
Yeah, they really did.
That makes it very, very cool. Anyway, next up, BT, we have got best stars, I think, from Games Workshop. These are the top 5.
Yeah, we've got Rodney Roachbait. We have Rashnak Backstabber. I always got to check his name. Anki Panky, Zarg Madai, and Rabana Forestfoot. Yeah, I think we've had a pretty good stars this year.
I don't know.
Actually, quite a tough choice.
I don't know.
I say that.
I don't know how many of these are actually out. I'm not sure. Anki Panky's out, and I don't know if Rashnak is out.
Is Zarg Madai out?
I think Zarg is out. He might not be, actually.
I think it's just Rodney. So we're clearly going off of rules and pictures rather than physical experiences.
Which is your favourite picture of a star this year?
Yeah.
Let's go to other games and then right down at the world. We've got explore Blood Bowl, blah blah blah. They want to explore.
They've not released Anki Panky. That's like a tragedy. Because Bruty had his redo of the sculpt like the next day.
I don't know why they do this.
Zarg is out. Zarg is out.
Okay, he's out.
What? I mean, come on. Where's let me filter by at least new. Jeez. Terrible job. Oh, Jordell came out. Yeah. Stab came out. Yeah. Can't see any others. Can't see any others. So. Yes, he is out. Oh, but he's temporarily out of stock. Cool.
Yeah, he's always out of stock.
Yeah, love it. So those are the best stars from Games Workshop. Best stars, third party. We have got the Grebo Deer Star. We've got the Punga Deer Star. So interestingly, we had Roanna in the Games Workshop category, and then you've got 2 alternate versions of her from third party. One, the Grebo one, is full on resin. You buy it, you get it. The Punga one is an STL version, so you can print it and you get it. Then you've got Brute Fun's new Anki Panky. So he did drop a Saurus Blocker Star years ago now, and it's a very, very, very cool model. He then went back for the lols and redid it, I think, again, because he had the misery of doing the high elf team and all his elves, and he was like, I'm sick of elves, I need like murderous stuff. So then every now and again he's like, I'm just gonna go sculpt this. And one of the things he went and sculpted was the new refined Anki Panky, which is a menace. Then you've got the Cheney, the Werewolf Star from the Punga Undead Norse team, which is very, very, very cool. And another set of Brute Fun stars, the Swift Twins, which I think kind of went under the radar because they dropped as part 2 of, I think, the Elven Union team. But they are by themselves a release worthy of doing it. It like the Swift Twins are as expensive in real money as they are in gold pieces for Blood Bowl. But they're a cool pair of model. This is like, okay, we're not elves, but make them custodies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like the armor detailing on them as well.
Yeah.
On Brute Fun's ones, yeah. Crazy.
Do you know what, actually? Looks a little Slanesh, the guy on the left.
Yeah, but they're elves, aren't they?
It's kind of their thing.
They're all a little bit Slanesh.
A little bit that way. Yeah. A very cool set of stars there for third party. Next up, Milton, you've got the best Games Workshop big guys.
Right, we have Hathark, the Unstoppable, and the Gnome Tree Man.
Yes.
Mr. Tree Man, Mr. G Tree Man.
Yeah. I forgot about that Tree Man, actually.
I love that Tree Man. Like, I loved the. I know it was such a controversial thing. Those are the original Tree Man that came out, and like some people really didn't like it, but I loved it. And then when they dropped the Gnome,
it didn't.
Huh?
It's only because it didn't come out.
Oh yeah, that's true, wasn't it? Yeah, it was like 2 years. And then they dropped the gnome one, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like now you've got what, 4 variants technically on that kind of same tree man structure.
Yeah, because the OG tree man had the wood elf face alternate, and then this one I think's got a couple of cool things to it too.
I just like that it's very Blood Bowl-y. I mean, there are some great tree men out there, and like I've seen some great conversions of Warhammer models and all of that, but I just really like the Games Workshop ones because they're very, very Blood Bowl-y.
They're short and stocky, which is not what you see from Treeman, which is very, very, very cool. Yeah. And Hthark had to go into the big guy category. He is a star player, but he was the only big guy star player I think that dropped this year. And obviously we needed to try and find a second Games Workshop big guy model that dropped, and he is a beast. So I think this is going to be a decent vote off here. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Hthark is just wicked. Right.
It's way better.
Yeah. For a couple more big guys, BT.
Yeah, we've got some third-party ones. We have the Undead Yeti, also from the Frozen Ravagers from Punga. We have and then 2 Brute Fun ones. We've got his Minotaur and his River Troll, which I believe was from the Snotlings. The River Troll.
Yeah, so the Snotling Troll there is from the Snotling team, and then the Grashnak remodel, or the third Minotaur that he's made, was another one of those models that he did, I think, just as a break from the elves. So he's like made 3 elf teams, and in the middle of it he's like, do you know what, I'm just going to go crack out at one of the best star player models of the year and one of the best big guy models of the year. What lad?
This is a superhuman. But yeah, these are really cool.
They both feature, I think, in the Renegade team for 7s.
Yeah, it is. It is both those models, isn't it?
It is. It's definitely the Minotaur. I think it's that troll. I may have gone for the other sewer troll.
Yeah, it's still the River Troll though.
There's some variants, isn't there? So.
Yeah, very, very, very.
Yeah, nice.
Very cool models. Right, just a couple more to go. So next up, we've got Best Blood Bowl Accessory. You've got the Charlie Victor Mark III ball tokens, which, I mean, the ball tokens from Charlie Victor have been excellent and have been out for a long time, but a lot of people suggested these because they came out this year and they've been reimagined and they're just very, very cool. And then you have got the Doc Miniature metal tokens, which I have got in a bag box there, waiting to do a review for so that we can bust them out on the channel as well, because they are very cool. I love the old school art for them. They're very charming. I think you guys have seen them at some tournaments as well.
I've been using them. Yeah, Doc Miniature gave me a set at NAFC, I think, of corn ones for me to use in my team, which was a lovely surprise. And yeah, I use them all the time. They fit the GW squares like perfectly. So if you ever play on like those pitches, they just look really nice. Yeah, the art, it makes me laugh. The halfling and the dwarf are like just brilliant.
Oh, it's wicked. There are some other things floating around in the Blood Bowl world, but I don't think they're quite ready yet. So actually, there's some cool other accessories and things coming, but these were the 2 top picks. Milt, you have question face.
Has done his new case yet? Because he's been talking about that for a while.
Like I'm not sure.
What's their crowdfund on it? I don't know.
It didn't come up under fantasy football.
I haven't looked in a while.
Yeah.
Trips is normally really good at bringing it up and reminding me.
So yeah.
Come on, wait for this.
Yeah, Trips is on it when it comes to that stuff. And talking of Trips, one thing he wanted to make sure that we added was the best BHPC moment. So his was Grop Brady dying on the series, but we just thought, actually, you know what? Drop us your best moment, whether it's when you got destroyed by Milton at a tournament, or you for example, or just we've done so many like games and series and yeah.
Mine, just throwing out there, mine was playing the most boring half of Amazons to only be punished by a riot into like Quad Skull, which was like the only thing that could have prevented it. That was mine. Where I'm just like, I did all of that boring stuff for nothing.
You've had some great moments this year on the channel, Ben, on the live games. Like
people have mentioned that, like at tournaments, they've just been like, oh, "I'm so sorry." Like, it's okay.
Do you know, it's not even a fix, because if we could if we could fix it, we would.
I would win more.
Well, yeah, we would unfix it like a little bit, but like, I mean, we may need to look into that with our setup for next year. Like, how do we fudge the rolls in the other direction? And the very last one we'd love your vote for is the best Bonehead tournament of the year. We had Beachhead Bowl weekend, we had Dorset Dungeon Bowl 3, we had the Bonehead Summer Team Cup, and we had Bonehead Bowl 2024. Obviously, if you've not been to one, feel free to vote for whichever one you would have come to, or not at all. It's entirely up to you. But it's always fun to look at this, especially as we look ahead next year, where we're only doing the Beachhead Bowl weekend, which is going to be a 2-day 11s tournament now, 5 games over 2 days. Bonehead Bowl we will be doing later in the year, and it will be Bonehead Bowl. So it kind of frees us up in the summer to go to other events, do some filming, you know, just be a little bit more free with what we want to do for the channel and everything, which I think is the right decision. I'm quite excited for. It feels weird only running sort of 2 tournaments next year instead of 5, but I don't know, it frees us up. So if the Games Workshop's like, actually, you know what, let's have 4 teams out, or if they don't do anything at all, it means we can go, oh, actually, let's do some filming, let's do another series, let's do some more secret stuff, let's do some more Street Bowl or Gutter Bowl or something. It just gives us a bit more freedom in time, but still getting to see you all twice a year, which is very cool.
I'm liking the idea. This is something that I'm leaning towards, depending on how much time I get. But it would be fun is to run another secret tournament. So that's something I'm going to think about.
Like Tombstone.
This Fumble secret team. Yeah. But with all the secret teams, just to encourage that, because I like the hobby that was there.
That was wicked, wasn't it?
And it's kind of unique, and I think those are the ones that we do best and enjoy most. Is when it's like something unique and something snazzy, and
that's why Bonehead Bowl is so awesome.
Exactly. Yeah.
I wanted to do Secret Team Santa so bad, and I'm constantly thinking of a way to transfer that idea to something else. So, yeah,
we'll come up with something.
Secret teams would be good.
Right, that is the Bonehead Awards 2024. Attached is a little Google sheet where you can go through and just click your votes. You don't have to vote for all of them, so if you don't have an opinion, you don't have to click one, but that's not how humans work. The only thing we want you to do is make sure you put your name and your email for the raffle, so that when we announce the winners, we can go ahead and pick some names out of the hats for some prizes as well, which I think would be pretty cool. So yeah, it's been a good year. I mean, Blood Bowl is a strange one. Like, it's felt like a bit of a slower year for releases all around. It feels like there's been less high-profile Kickstarters. It feels like there's been less STL teams. But the ones that have come out have been superb. So I think Bruty, for example, has done less teams this year, but every single one of them is a winner. You had the Orc team, you've got the Snotling team, you've got the 3 Elf teams. Like 5 proper good teams across a year is more than Games Workshop is doing, and that's from one of our creators. Like Realm of Paths is still out there doing some great stuff. You've got RNEs, you've got all the other companies. So this was really just a snapshot of some of our favourites and of the year. So yes, I look forward to seeing your votes and getting your opinions on this one. Right guys, with that done, the FAQ might drop this afternoon. Who knows? Like, who knows? But
Could
otherwise, yeah.
I did want to say, so we are taking a break on December for stream content, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I did want to actually hold up my hands and be just like, that's mostly my fault. I took on way too much work in December, and I've had a very busy last couple of weeks. But hopefully we can make up for that, and I will be doing a Christmas stream at some point over the holidays. So if you want to hang out and be like cozy and festive around Christmas, then
that's wicked.
We'll have a little painting stream then, because I've got some time now.
I think we'll be able to get one more podcast in before the end of the year as well. But the good news is we were able to grab Milton because he's off on a really lovely family holiday for Christmas, which is sweet.
Yeah, be back in the new year.
Yeah, you got some painting to do in the new year.
Yeah, you do. Crack that whip, get those Nurgle done.
Yeah, the Nurgle, the Necromunda, and all the things. Oh, and maybe those Punga undead that we mentioned earlier. Yeah. That's cool. Hopefully I'll come back. And like the thing about going on holiday is I always find that it recharges those creative energies, and I'll come back with a fresh perspective, plan everything out, sit down, crack on with it, and enjoy the new year. And, yeah. You know, big shout out to the Discord community. Thanks for a great year. Thanks for participating in the Fumble and for generally just being awesome. And yeah,
I'm very excited for next year. I'm hoping that us committing to less means that we can be more agile with what we do. And like Ben said, like, yeah, I mean, it's not all Ben's fault, not by a long blooming shot, but it got to the point where we got to December, like everyone has illnesses and like I'm having to do lots of store visits and stuff, so it makes it quite challenging. It just seemed like, actually, do you know what? Let's have a break for a few weeks. Quite frankly, everybody else is going to be busy at this point of the year anyway. So it's like, right, let's take a pause. We can pick up the second half of Sevens after Christmas. Then we'll have Beachhead. Then we can go into the Bonehead Championship, and we can maybe record a couple of bits to go in there as well if and when it comes up. It just gives us the best chance to just have fun making the content without being like, oh my god, they've got a stream but someone's sick and we have to try and figure it out and like cancel. Actually, I think we can do a better job of it. I'm really happy and I have so much fun doing the streams. I'm really happy with how they're going, so it's been a great year for that. And next year, let's just see if we can do more content more easily. Hashtag Warhammer Plus. Anyway, ho ho ho, we should be back in time for a Christmas episode in the next couple of weeks. But Milton, have yourself a wonderful time. Thank you for joining us. And Baby T, Milton, thanks.
Thank you
been
very
a
much.
pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Right, see you later, guys. We'll be back with more Blood Bowl content. Happy blocking. Nearly forgot, didn't I? Golly.